life in different perspectives, as in years. Like, let's say the average human life is 90 years. Okay. How many boxes have you have already checked off? And you're checking off boxes these years, right? Maybe you're halfway. Right, man. I mean, I'm at the 45 mark. I'm halfway there. That's eye-opening. But then you can go a little deeper and look at your life in months. And this kind of like, man, I just checking off I just checked off 12 months this year. What did I get done in 12 months? Right? So that's 30 right here is 3 years of your life, and you're just checking off. Here's your 30th birthday. When you start getting down here, you're like, man, a big chunk of my life is gone. And what am I doing with each month? What if you look at it in weeks? What if you start checking off your boxes of your life in weeks? You're like, man, that's another week. What did I really get done this week to move closer to what I want to accomplish? So the typical life, we're just like going through life again. Bam, a decade's gone. A year is gone. A month is gone. A week is gone. We burn up days sometimes and we don't even think about it. Like, man, I just burned a whole day. I burned a whole hour. And so when it comes to setting goals, we need to keep the big picture in mind, not just like, hey, how many contacts I want to do. That's going to be determined because of how aggressive you realize I need to get my goals going. I need to get my business going. I need to get my life moving forward, not just filling up time. And so when you really like just start looking at how many boxes, and I suggest that you guys do this, go through and check off how many boxes have you already cleared off in your life, and what did you get done, and then shift that and say, how much do I have left? Right? None of us is promised tomorrow. None of us is promised next week. And so how many do you have left? All right. Steve Jobs, look at this is when all these people that accomplished a lot, this is when they checked their last box. So I encourage you guys, look at how many months and how many weeks you have left. You can actually calculate it, right? Like if your average life is 80 years or 90 years, we can't hear you, Steve. Go ahead, bud. Unmute yourself.
I'm sorry. Hitler's up there. I see he didn't last that. And Osama bin Laden, that's some good ones there.
Sorry, did I call all these people great? So go through
famous
this. People. Yeah, famous people. Sorry. So just the real point of this is to just realize you've already spent a lot of your boxes. Like,
wow,
you've already spent a lot of your boxes, of your weeks, of your years, of your months, just checking them off. If you realize this, the amount of time you have left in your life with your parents, if you're still blessed to have them, is like 5% of the time you've already spent with them. You've already spent 90% of the time that you're ever going to spend with your parents. Likely, you've already checked that off. And so how many more Christmases do you have with them? How many more birthdays do you have with your loved ones? So I said all that to really put it in perspective. Like, you need to make every day count, right? I need to make every single day count. And there's two kind of exercises and ways to look at this. Steve's going to talk about the prophecy letter. I'm going to leave you with one little thing here. If you were to define the perfect day, like a lot of people say it's just, get more money, better car, bigger house, all that good stuff. That's great. But that's not what we really, really want. We want the moments. We want to collect those moments and those experiences, right? Time with our family. We want to be able to go to a nice vacation, relax, and just breathe and spend time with our loved ones, right? So ask yourself this: what is the ideal average day? Like in your business or in your life, that if you were to nail down the perfect day, and I'm serious, you got like, if you were to live that day every single day, you wouldn't get bored. You could live it every single day. What would that day look like? Write it down. Like, what would you do every single day? And you're like, man, I could do this every single day. Me and Steve have gone through this exercise before. And it's like, it's exciting and it's frightening because you're like, man, I got a lot to do to really make that day happen every single day. Which leads to a prophecy letter. So I'll let you talk about this, Steve, because I know you're really good at this.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you had a template for this.
I got a template for him, Steve. You know I'm coming through.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Yeah, Jesse, I appreciate that. I actually got sucked into buying one of those posters that have your lifespan in weeks. I did that probably, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, and it's on my wall in my bedroom when I wake up and I look at it, and if it's a day where I don't feel like getting everything done or working that hard, I look at that and I say, hey, I can work hard here for the next, couple of years, and the rest of what I have left is just going to be, retirement. Or I can just muddle through everything and waste time, and it's unpredictable. So it is an interesting concept to look at where you're really at, be realistic about where you're at and what you have left. Mm-hmm. So a couple of things that you said, Jesse, that really resonated with what we're talking about here with me was, the perfect day. Hold on a second. We keep getting people jumping in here. Okay. So the way I was taught to write my goals was to write them very specifically with a specific time frame, a measurable goal that has a specific time frame, and write it as if it's already done. So for example, if I'm writing goals for 2021 and it's a production goal for how many homes I want to sell or how much money I want to make, I will write that as if I've already accomplished it. So basically what I say is on December 31st, 2021, I have effectively, my income has surpassed $500,000 for the year. This accomplishment has changed my life. It's made everybody in my family happier, closer. It's given us the freedom to do, go on several vacations. It's, I want to basically write it as if it's already happened.
Yeah.
So that's how I write my goals. And it has to be with a specific time frame. First of all, guys, I can't stress how important it is. You have to write it down. And, you hear this and people say they set goals and everything for the year, but if you don't write them down, you have about a less than 5% chance of actually accomplishing the goal. If you write your goals down, and I write them down, I don't know if you can see this, but everybody knows what a index card is. I have mine written on an index card. That index card sits on my computer, right on my desk. So I look at it every day when I get to my desk into the office. Okay. So you want to write it. You want to write your goals down as if they've already happened. And this can be, goals for your income, your real estate business, the number of deals you want to close, the amount of GCI.
You got muted, Steve.
Okay.
There you go.
Sorry about that. Whatever your goals are, you want to write those down. All right, guys, I'm trying to get everybody in here. Man, I got a lot of problems with people with Zoom or something. All right. So I write them down as if they've already happened. I write them down on an index card so I can carry it around with me. And I also post it next to my computer. I also share that with an accountability partner, with a spouse, a significant other, my family, and let them know what my goals are, because you want them to understand why you're working so hard or why you're doing what you're doing throughout the year to make everything happen for you. Because if you're really working at these goals, it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot of focus and a little bit of time away from your family. So whenever I do this, when I write my goals down, it's inevitable that, the power of that and the fruition of those actually coming true, they happen more frequently. So it's been proven scientifically. So as we're talking about this, I would suggest that everybody after this call grabs an index card. If you don't have index cards, get a piece of paper and write down, 4 or 5 things that you want to accomplish by the end of the year next year. And I'm actually going to also myself, I'm going to write a 6-month goal as well. And I'm going to write goals for the next 6 months, because you can really do a lot in 6 months, and you can set yourself up for the entire year if you really work some, hardcore goals in, the first 6 months of the year. So one of the things I wanted to share was the prophecy letter. Jesse, can you share that again?
Yeah.
This is in addition to writing your goals. So once you write your goals down, this is a way that you can internalize your goal and that you can really put some emotion behind it, as opposed to just writing down a couple things on a piece of paper. Why would you do this? Steve, why are you telling us to do this? It seems weird. I thought it was weird too. And I'm just going to tell you a very quick story, true story. When I wrote a prophecy letter in 2000, at the end of 2014, going into 2015, the first year that I ever did this.
And I shared the PDF of this other version, you guys, in the chat. This is from a real estate investor, so you can change the verbiage a little bit.
Hold on a second. I'm muting people again. Everybody that's on the call, can you guys please mute? I'm going to have to get that setting changed so it mutes automatically. All right. So I did this at the end of 2014. I don't have the letter here. I've got it in a box somewhere, but I've looked at it the last couple of years. So backstory on the prophecy letter. When I first started coaching with Mike Ferry, and we were told that you should set your goal for the next year around 20 to 25% increase from the year before. That's kind of the standard, and that's kind of the realistic expectation of what you're going to do for the next year. And I had just finished my first full year of coaching, and I had a really good year. I made over $225,000 GCI. But I had surrounded myself with other people in the coaching organization and masterminds that were, doing 3, 5, 600,000 or more business. Yeah, they were a few years ahead of me, but I wanted that. And I knew that that was possible. The better I got at what I was doing and the more consistent I got. So I was, through doing a lot of self-discovery and, reading a lot of books. I read a book by Maxwell Maltz called the Psycho-Cybernetics. That was one of the books that I read, something that, you can imagine, or you can create anything you want that you can imagine. Okay. It's kind of like the, what's that other book called? Think and Grow Rich. And it says that a lot of people put a ceiling, or they have a preconceived idea of what they can really accomplish, and it hinders them. It keeps them in a box. It keeps them at a lower level than they can, potentially go to. So I said to I started reading this, and somewhere along the way, it said, do not limit yourself to what other people think as far as what you can do, or what you think, or what, your subconscious has created for you as far as your thinking. So I said to myself, what do I really want? Where do I really want to be at the end of 2015? I want to, double my business or more. And I honestly, I put down exactly what I felt was possible based on the numbers, because I ran the numbers, and I said, if I make, X number of contacts a day, why can't I make $600,000, And if you do the math on that, 225 to 600,000 is like almost 100. That's like almost like 175% increase, which is well above the 20% that we were suggested to do. So, I just wrote it down, and I thought, well, I believed it was going to happen, but I didn't share it with a lot of people. I think I shared it with a handful of people like Jesse in the mastermind group, and said, because we did that as a assignment, we all shared our prophecy letter and wrote it. So I wrote that in my prophecy letter that I was going to, by December 31st, 2015, my gross income was going to be $600,000. All right. Fast forward to the end of 2016 or 15, and I had no idea how much money I made, but I looked at my W-2 or whatever, 1099 from the company I was at, and it was $613,000. So it's 13,000 over the 600. And that was in 1 year. And I looked at that prophecy letter. I go, what did I write down? I wrote down 600,000. And I started looking at that letter, and had everything come true? No, but I would say 50 to 70% of everything on there, that was my life now. I had accomplished that and I achieved those goals. And I believe that it had a lot to do with writing that down, actually feeling the emotion behind it and being excited about it. That's a big deal too. You got to be excited about it. So if you're writing your goals down and you're like, man, I'm going to do, $300,000 in GCI, but that's going to suck because it's going to be a lot of work. Don't do it then. Don't write that down. You have to write down something that gets you excited, motivated. It has to be an enlightening goal, and write it and visualize it as if it's already happened. What's that going to look like? What is that? What does $600,000 look like? Well, that looks like, $55,000 on average every month going into my bank account. What's my bank account look like at the end of the year? What can I do with that money? What kind of vacations can we go on? Feel that and feel what it is to enjoy that. So, Jesse, do you have that prophecy letter pulled up?
Yeah, can you see it?
There we go. Yeah. So here's an example to get you started. Wow, 2020, what an incredible year. Or wait, 2021. Okay. So wow, 2020, what an incredible year I had. This is by far the absolute best year of my life. That's exactly how you want to start it out. Something like that. My career completely took off. I made $500,000 this year without working hard at all, which was amazing. Everything seemed to come together perfectly. I realized my real estate business, I consistently sold.
Yeah, this is for an investor, but yeah, change it.
Consistently sold 7 properties a month and made an average of $8,000 per deal. The best part is I developed a team that does most of the work. I build a huge list of clients, blah, blah, blah. And so see, he's being very specific here. And then he goes into, for my family, let's see, my wife and I, my kids and I, we went on vacation. I reached my ideal weight. So, this can be a health goal as well. All the goals, how many books do you want to read during the year? What kind of self-improvement seminars do you want to attend? You want to go to Tony Robbins? What do you want your life to look like? You have to visualize it. So another thing that I suggest is you guys get a vision board. So if you really want to take everything to the next level, do 3 or 4 things here. Get a vision board, which means get a big poster board, get some magazines out, or go to the internet and get some pictures of some things that you want in your life by the end of next year, 2021. Put those on that poster board, put it right next to your desk so you can see that every day. All right, that's number 1. Number 2 is get out some index cards, visualize what you want for your goals for throughout the year until the end of the year of 2021. Write those down as if they've already happened and look at that every single day. The first thing you do when you get your computer, you have it sitting on your computer, you read those goals. It's 3 or 4 things, 5 things, whatever it is, read it. That will get you motivated. It'll get you in the right mindset to get your work done. And, really this, if you guys have been following us all year, it really comes down to just taking care of the most important business at the beginning of the workday. And you can do all this and make, when I made $600,000 that year, I was working, probably, I know what I was doing. I was calling 35 contacts a day, but that's really only 3.5, 4 hours of work, and then going on listing appointments. But the hard part is the 3.5, 4 hours. So you can do all that in half a day. So write down your goals on a card and then write out a prophecy letter. Really write down exactly what you want in your life and be emotional about it. Visualize it. And if you keep that, you can look at the prophecy letter once a month, but you really need to have that goal card with you. If you carry a wallet, put it in your wallet. I don't carry a wallet, but I open my computer every single day. So I have it taped to my computer, what my goals are. So I remember that. So when I feel like stopping after, contact number 15 or whatever it is, I look at that and I know damn well if I follow through and do what I'm supposed to do on that day that I don't feel like doing it. Each time that happens and I actually break through that, that's when I'm going to hit my goals. You'd be surprised how how much energy you get from the integrity of actually following through every day. So I think it's really, really important. I think the key takeaway here is to write everything down, write your goals down, and write this prophecy letter.
I remember, Steve, when you did it, because I remember how like you were like so excited. Like he got his assistant. I remember he's like, man, I'm got so many deals going on now. I need an assistant, and those kind of things were on his prophecy letter, and they started happening. I remember he got his assistant, and he has like more free time. Spent, it's just put all those things on there. Like, what was that ideal day that you want to live every single day, the Monday through Friday? What does your ideal work day look like? Write that down. What do you want it to look like?
Yeah, you have to write it down and you have to share it with somebody. Anybody on this call that wants to share their goals with me after they do this process, or if you've already done it, I would suggest it, man. Post it in the WhatsApp group. We're going to have an accountability group in WhatsApp as well. And that's going to be based around, accountability is based around your business plan, which is based around your goals. So you have your goals, and then from your goals, you write out your business plan, what you have to do to accomplish those goals. And if you follow John and I and Jesse and what we're all doing here, the reason that we're able to hit those certain milestones, and the reason that we've been so successful, and the reason, many of you on this call have been so successful is we know exactly what we have to do in order to accomplish those goals. We know the numbers, we know the process. It's just having the integrity and carrying, following through with it. So we're not telling you stuff here that we get out of a book that we're making up. This comes from actual real world experience of, making millions of dollars selling real estate and writing out the goals in a certain way.
And to like drive that point home, it's the how you accomplish it all doesn't matter right now. There's a book called Start With Why. You have to start with the why. This is the why. It doesn't matter like, oh, again, you can make an excuse like, I don't have an assistant, I don't have this, and maybe we don't know what the market's going to be like. The how will take care of itself if we write down the why. Why do I want to do this? I want to be able to enjoy this. I want to be able to do this. I want to spend time with this loved one. I want to go on vacation. The why is what drives you to go do those things. Sorry, I didn't know I was sharing my screen. Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, absolutely. It does. So you have to have a why. Honest to God, I'll be real forward with you here. One of the whys that I had back in the day was I was going to move to Hawaii with the family. I'm now divorced, and that was the reason that I'm not moving there anymore. It has to do with, my ex-wife is from there and my kids and everything. But that was a big why for me for several years that kept me really motivated. So, you have to have something, even if you don't realize it, it's important to have a reason. Like if you're just doing this because, you got to make the money to pay your bills, it's not going to be as effective. If you're writing down goals that get you inspired because, 5 years from now or 4 years from now or 8 years from now, you want to be retired and, living on an island somewhere or, wherever it is or whatever you want to do the rest of your life, then maybe that's your inspiration. Or if you want to help, family members, whatever it is, you have to have some sort of why or inspiration to go to the next level. We can all do things on an average level, but this is next level stuff. So any questions? How do we get questions here? Raise your hand if you have a question, I guess.
Raise your hand, or there's a chat too.
The chat. Yeah, write it in the chat. There you go. So go to the chat at the bottom of the screen. And I'll put this in here. Any questions?
So like vision board, writing your January /prophecy letter. Those are kind of like the two main takeaways. Obviously, we've been talking about business plans for the last month or so. So your prophecy letter, your vision board, your if you want to do the ideal day exercise, that's really cool. What would really cool detailed, this is what my perfect day, ideal day would look like. And that might be 5 years down the road, but it's something to work towards.
All right, guys, if there's nothing else, I want to wish everybody happy holidays. And one last note, I will tell you, if you guys are calling expireds or canceleds, the next 2 days, 3 days, the next 3 to 4 days, the next week basically is the best time of the year. I average probably anywhere from 10, I average 10 to 12 new listings in January every year. So, and that's, a quarter or, a sixth of the entire inventory for the whole year. And that's because a lot of people's property listings expire at the end of the year. They expire tomorrow or the next day or today even. So you can start calling those people and get a head start today, or you can wait until what we call expired day. The best day of the year is January 1st. Some will, some won't. The ones that do are going to get a couple listings. I'm going to this year. I don't have my kids, so I've already told the girlfriend I'm going to be making some calls on January 1st. And I know my intention then on January 1st is to stop when I get at least 3 solid appointments. That could mean 30 minutes or it could mean 3 hours, but it'll happen.
Yeah, and tomorrow, yeah. So Steve said tomorrow even, because tomorrow's dumb agent day, because some agents think there's only 30 days in December. So they said to expire December 30th. So tomorrow's a good day.
Yeah, today is the 30th, right? So actually it'd be later today. They'll probably start flowing in. If I look on the MLS, I'm sure there's a lot of them that expired today.
Right.
All right, guys, any other questions? I'm going to start that chat after this call, and we're going to put our goals in there for the year. So we'll have a bunch of people in there. It's going to be an accountability chat. You basically post your goals, and you can, if you want me to put them up in the, to put them up in the stored files, I can. Either way, just post them in there and post what you want your accountability to be. I'll write it out in the chat. So have a great end of the year. Enjoy some time with your family. Make a few phone calls if you want, but either way, it's going to be a great 2021. The market's going to be on fire. So
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Talk to you guys in the new year.
All right.